Yep, we see it.
All right, so we'll mark this as our prior all-time high. Let me make sure I tagged that right. All right, well, it's the end of the month, so you guys know what we typically do. Is we gotta check the profiles on the monthly and see where we stand. Ooh. Anyone concerned about the monthly profile?
Yeah, we're a bit away from value.
Say it again, Tom.
We're a bit away from value.
Bit away from value, but this looks like a B shape in an uptrend.
Yeah.
So if they lose the 61, 66, which is about 90 points away, that's pretty troubling, right? Most likely we're going to hit this June Virgin POC here. So I would definitely mark this guy right here. They really need to start building value here and stop gapping up every day if they want to stay up there. Yeah, there's a very high chance we're going to be seeing this POC soon, at least here, this little area. I'll be shocked if you're not there sooner or later. The 614 area. Because this value is fairly tight if you guys compare it to what we've had. So we know we had a lot of participation here, 8%. Then it got a little tighter, right? 4. And then, so this alone is telling you that, you know, the participation as you're auctioning higher, that it's less and less. When you're auctioning, whenever you have an auction, right? Just like any auction, right? When the guy says who's going 50, ton of people raise their hands. When they get to 2,000, how many people raise their hands? Well, if the auction is strong, a lot of people would want something at 2,000, right? So when we're auctioning higher here, it doesn't seem like there was a lot of participation here in month of June. It seems like there was a lot of short cover rally, and I would probably agree with that because of the fact that there's actually a cool little indicator called gaps. Show it here. So here's all the gaps that are pretty much unfilled, right? So you have one here, this one almost filled. Then you have one here, this one filled. Maybe this one filled here all the way, almost. Almost, yep. So there's quite a few gaps. And you can kind of see them clearly here on SPX if you guys go here. You'll see that there's a lot of gaps that we have left below. Typically gaps get filled, right? So this is very concerning. And then when you guys look at this, when you look at this on a weekly time frame, right, this is going to be fairly important, especially because we just finished a quarter, right? So something you can do here as well is take a look at the quarterly and see what does the value say on this. So let's see. So see March, this is your quarter. The only good thing here about the quarterlies is what do you guys see? That's pretty good.
Value area high placement.
Value area high placement, what he's talking about is the value area high is really up there, right? So this would be our 2025 Q2 value area high. And we want to go above this rather quickly. And then you guys can see here that this is going to be somewhat of a support on a quarterly basis, right? So this is going to act as a support because it's prior all-time high. We know we're going to get those buyers that want to defend that. And then you will also have, you know, people that are going to be kind of reflecting here on the prior Q1 to make sure that they're accepting the prices higher. Because the idea is, you know, if you're new, when the price is trading inside, let's say in a bracketed market doing this, and then they pop, that means that they're no longer agreeing that this is value. When they come back, we're expecting buyers to show up here to tell you that we are rejecting this value again, and then most likely we'll make a higher high. So that's kind of where you are right now in terms of bigger picture, right? There's no signs in terms of let's get in and short this yet, but there's certainly signs of weakness coming up. So I would definitely keep an eye on this right here, and this will be our Q2. So this level here is going to be crucial. When I tell you this is going to be fairly important level here at some point, just remember it. 59.46. When we come here, you're going to expect to see some massive buying here. And now you can see this value area is kind of engulfing all of the prior quarter range is actually inside this value. So there's a lot of participation for the quarter, but for the monthly, something's not adding up. It seems like it's slowing down quite a bit. So we'll take a look at the weekly and see where we stand. Weeklies, we look at 65 minutes and typically on ETH. Well, you guys see where they bounced today, pretty much. Came in very close. Let's see what they do here. So this is previous week value area high. And all I'm doing here is just marking so I know what are the values. So in case they decide to break inside of this, where are we going next? There's potentially a good trap here being set up. And this profile here, I mean, I know it's just Monday, but golly, that does not look good. So let's take a look at on the daily. Where we
I
stand.
just rejected the spike too.
Just now?
Just now, yeah.
Does anyone not know what a spike is? All right, let's see. All right. Typically, you don't need candles for the analysis here. Man, this looks... If they fail tomorrow on this spike, it's going to get ugly. Get ugly real fast tomorrow. So I will leave it up here, and I'll give you guys a moment. Tell me, what do you see that's a problem in this profile?
Those usually appear when there's going to be a reversal.
That's true. We have a little bit of more access at the top. So she's talking about this level up top here. Right here. So this means right here, this is where our spike is as well. For Europe people, you don't have to worry about spike for now. Just understand that this was a spike. Let's see, each period, each letter here reflects 30 minutes of trading where the price visited, right? So for instance, period A was as high as, let's say, 62.49. And the first 30 minutes, this was the range, 62.49, so about 15 points, right? Then the B period made lower lows, lower highs, and then E period's really one that kind of tried getting higher. The G period started setting up, I period then went lower, and then we have a little bit of excess on the bottom here, very close to the prior week value area high. So you can see that they created a lot of value here. And then the L period pushed higher, broke the A high. And then what's the rule about L period?
If we get a higher high, 66% chance we're going to get that spike.
That's correct. Does everybody understand that? Anyone that's not following this?
you can repeat that again, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so what she means, so if each period, if you look at this, you know, each candle in 30 minutes represents one letter here. In TPOs or market profile, when L period, this period here, right, and this is your 3 to 330, when this period makes a higher high or a lower low against every other letter, there's a 66% chance that M period is going to make a higher high and we're going to have a spike, meaning that it's going to go higher. And then, of course, it's going to be important where we close as well. And it seems like we close right here on the settle price. Does that make sense? Any questions from anyone? It's okay if you don't get it. It's a new concept for a lot of you. So then you have a setup for tomorrow. It's really hard. When you're at all-time highs, a lot of people think the stock market can go higher. And if you're new, you need to drop that. You need to drop that thinking and that behavior, because stock market can go higher and it can pretty much take your liquidity and your bank account with it, because you're going to be shorting something you should not be shorting. There's, you know, if you're taking something short, there has to be some kind of confirmation. Like today, when we were shorting this, you know, I took a short somewhere around here and I was targeting and ultimately wanted it lower. But then when this came and they recovered, I saw the excess on the bottom. So then I moved my trail to make sure that I don't get this, which is exactly what they got. You know, I made a little bit of money. I wanted it more in a short because I was looking to see if they're going to dump it, because every period here was pretty much framing down and not a lot of access here in the first half of the day. And then they slowly started shifting the value, and you can see the shift of the bottom. Here they use a little trap, and then today they cranked it, right? The L period made higher highs, and this is your spike right here. Spike base is when the L period basically cracked and the M period makes higher high. That's your spike base. The end here, or our Q, what we can call this. Well, I'm just gonna do something like this. Can do this and mark this spike end. Spike end just means it's the previous day or high. And if you guys look at it, that's where the M period ends right here. And that's your base. So the setup for tomorrow is fairly simple, right? If we open and we're able to hold the spike base, which is 56.5, that's very bullish. So if we open and hold this in the morning, that's very bullish. That means the price is being accepted, that this spike at the end of the day is being validated tomorrow. And if they do something like this and you see buyers come in and you can check the footprints, there's a high chance this is just going to rocket. And I think we can find the next level here shortly. Right after we finish this, I'll show you guys how to find them. Does anyone not know how to find the next levels when you're in a blue sky?
Can you do the fibs?
Yeah, I do the fibs. So bullish above the spike. If we go below it, let's say we open below it, or let's say we go above it and then we reject the spike, meaning that we cannot hold the auction above it, that's pretty bearish, right? And you can target a previous day value area low or PDL.
Hi, Shorty. Can you tell me how to use fibs again?
Sure, I'll do a quick little lesson. And then here, right, if we open above spike and PDH, this is the most bullish outcome. I wrote something. Oh, there it is. Does that make sense for everybody regarding the spike and what the setup is? So as long as you're opening above this spike and you're not losing it, that's very, very bullish, right? If you open above it and then you lose it, you turn a little bit bearish, right? And most likely you're targeting here previous day value area low. You could definitely, you know, watch out for this 38.5, the PDOC. But I would definitely turn my bias a little bit for the day. You can't be extremely bearish until what happens on a daily here. Oh, awesome. Thank you. So ideally, when the market's going higher and the blue sky breakout, you want to see the market start framing down. Framing down means that we put in a lower low, and the lower low would be somewhere around 24. So we need the market to reject prices higher, and we need it to put lower low. That tells us that first, if they reject the spike, then this was the excess. Right now it's just a spike, and we confirm it tomorrow. Means that tomorrow's period needs to validate the late price action. So if you go here, you'll see, we pumped on the last 30 minutes. This is the last 15 minutes here, right? This is your settle price or settle candle. Right here, this is important tomorrow. We can check where we are. Somebody said we rejected it just moments ago. Yep. Does everybody understand the spike? If you're new, you're going to pick it up. I just want to make sure you guys give you an idea about the setup for tomorrow. But here you go. They just came here and they're pretty much rejecting that spike base to a penny. So they want to see how they behave. And there's a lot of buyers right here. A lot of buyers maybe got trapped, and we'll find out tomorrow what they do, right? But nobody answered what else is unusual in today's day versus every other day here. I'll tell you when it's different.
A B-shaped profile, and we went up.
That's true. That's one. That's a Yep. So that's usually on the quarter end. Today was the quarter end. Today is the day when pension funds, if you work for a public company, typically this is where your brokers, your treasury team is also purchasing the stocks for you guys. Today was the day where they do all that, right? Where they submit it, whether it's Fidelity or whatever the broker you guys use. That's when they went out. So there was a lot of volume, right, coming in, and price might not be moving, right, because there's a lot of unwinding of the trades. And I think JPM, Tom, did they publish it?
Yep.
What's the strike?
I don't have it up on my mind. I'll put it in the chat when I get it.
All right, thanks. So JPM collar, right, is going to be, I'm wondering where they actually placed it. So it'll be interesting to see what that collar does and how they are looking at the market. I know they were hurting on the last collar, so they're probably rolling over with that one. So we'll see. I think it was, close to $500 million in losses for JPM on the long side, on the short side. But anyone else see anything unusual? Yes, the B shape. Tomorrow we get to find out if it's a true B shape, right? It is B shape, but this spike is going to get confirmed.
We
Is there
closed,
anything-
we closed where we opened.
We closed below the open. Did we close below the open on this one? You opened here, you closed
Nope.
here. You opened here, closed at the highs. The only day where it happened was here. If you guys look, we opened, but the price really stayed in the upper. If you guys remember, we had those single prints here. They really held it. If you guys remember, they held the single print, so it wasn't really a bear sign here. But when you scroll down, take a look at this. You open, you closed higher. This is the only one where we had the liquidation where they closed, and this looked promising that we're going to sell off, and then of course they bought it back up. But basically since here, we really haven't had a day at the highs where this happened, and we have access potentially tomorrow that we're going to confirm. I'm just giving you a little warning sign that if they try tomorrow and they have an option where they test something and they reject and reverse, watch the 5-minute candle tomorrow. The 5-minute opening candle, right? So something like this. See how do they behave, and then play the breakout of that 5-minute high or low, especially if they lose the spike base. Does that make sense? Tomorrow could be pretty ugly, right? If you're not tuned in on how it's working. Oh wow, they're pretty insane on that one, Tom.
Yep.
So they're gonna go to 6,500 first.
It's July after all.
It is, I mean, it's a very bullish month. Wow, so they put the bracket pretty high, man. 1,700 points. Okay. Does that make sense? This is potentially screaming that there's some bearishness, but until we crack this inside tomorrow, until we see a framing down, we can't be sure, but there's a little warning signs coming up right now. Does that make sense to everyone? Don't be bearish. I'm just giving you, there's some concerns right now. What do you guys think happened here today? Anyone? What happened in the circle area?
Premiums.
Lots of people are buying calls here, right? And the only way that you can shake those out is that you drop it down. And what did the retail do once we dropped here? Start adding to the puts. So what did they do? Well, just pay attention to what they did. You had this low, they cracked the low, they trapped the shorts, they crack higher, they trapped the bulls, and then they close inside. I mentioned today that it looked like a neutral date, and then there was a high chance we're going to close somewhere towards the middle, right? They did a pretty good job today on shaking people out both sides. But right now we're below the spike, and it seems like there's a seller that's sitting here. Talking about fibs and how can you find some levels, right? So if you guys look, so we had this previous, I would say, don't mind the levels for a moment. If you take a look at this was your prior high to the lows, right? So typically in symmetry in fibs, you want to find a repeating right symmetry here. So if you look here, you're going to have this high. So you want to grab that high and that low. And when you grab high to the low, from swing high to the low, and you look for extensions. So typically I have it kind of set up where I have a format, right, that saves the template. So now we're looking at 65.29, and the caller, the short calls was a 65.05 on SPX by JPM. So let's just check real quick what they have in store for us. That would be 64.80 on SPX. That's pretty close. Pretty sure we're going to grind to get there eventually, but I think that's next in for us right here. This would be the next level you're looking for. And of course, you could use this on any time frame, right? Whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you could use it, right? So if I look at this symmetry between this high, and I want to know if we were to replicate this move, where would the fibs go? You could literally grab the same thing, grab the high to the low to find the next projections, because you want to replicate this move to the upside. So let's see, I missed it a little bit. So here's this, and now you're able to see, for instance, the 127 that we had, I would say tapped pretty good here, tapped good here, and tomorrow 62.73 would be a decent level to have if they continue here after, right, to make higher highs, previous day high. If you want to look for support, what would you guys do on fibs? How do you find, where is the support and a bounce?
Is it the opposite from low to high?
Yeah, so you want to go from the bottom to the high, and then you want to change that to actually retracement, right? Because you want it to be within the 100%. So if you guys go here, I'm just going to delete this for a moment. So now you're able to see, I only use 3 fibs pretty much, the 50, 61, and 70.5. Even though these two are not really fibs, but 61.8 is usually, if they're able to hold the 50%, that's a good sign. If they hold 38.2, that's extremely bullish, right? And here you see that they failed and now they're above it. Does that make sense for all?
Shorty, how do we get those fib settings, or are they just
Yeah,
custom ones that you made?
I can bring them up here and I'll post them in the chat.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And if you're not familiar, let's see, let me just kind of do it real quick and then we'll revert back. If I was to look at support, for instance, from here to here, right? So here's the fibs. Let me just take a screenshot. So here's the fibs. And then if you want to look for extensions, right? We know the move is from 0 to 100, right? That's what we're kind of tracking, right? So here, right, whenever you grab the fibs, this is going to be your 100 at the top, right? Or 0 in this case, and the bottom is going to be the 100. So here you go. So now what the fibs, if I was to flip this, right? What I mean, flip it. If I want to know not only the support within this range, that's what retracements mean. When you do retracements, you're looking where's the support within these levels, within this symmetry, where's the support? So that's what I have as retracements, and you see the support. If I want to know where's the, where's the next level in terms of extensions, I have to grab it from the high to the lows, and then I do extensions, and then you'll see it now. Extensions mean you're looking to replicate the move and see where's the 100% of the move. How would you find the 100% of a move on the fibs? If this whole thing from here to here is 100% of the move that we want to replicate, what the fibs do when you draw it is they will find the 127, which is a very popular fib, and the golden ratio is a 1618. That means the 61.8 of this move is right here. If I want to find the double, how would I do that? If I want to find the same exact replica of that move, how would I find it?
Check the 2.
Yeah, you just click the 2, right? So here's that one. So if I want to replicate this symmetrically completely, that would be 6306. And then some people, me as well, I use fib standard deviations, and you can see here, I have those as well. And then you can customize that if you want. You can put them as -1.5 or whatever levels you want. It just depends where you are and, right now and what market we are in. But this would be the levels that I would kind of watch for, probably 62.91. If we crack this high tomorrow, I would say there's a very, very high chance we're going to be at 62.91 tomorrow. Did the fibs make sense to anyone? Makes a little bit more sense if you are not aware of it. And then on higher time frames, I'm just going to bring SPY set on. So for instance, if you go on monthlies, right, and you look at SPY, you can definitely do, swing highs and lows, and you want to color code them so you know like it's a major fib. If I was to look at this to here, right, and then I change it to retracements because you want to find support, you can see, for instance, here, this one was a perfect tap to the 50% at 349. And now if I want to know where's the extensions, where are we going, I could replicate this move and see how far it got. So let me give you an idea. So if I want to know on higher time frames, how is this move looking? And I need to flip it again to extensions. So we're already over the golden ratio, which was 561.48. So in this case, I could use standard deviations, right, to know what is this move. That means 200%. And you guys see 611.85 got hit to basically a penny. So in between here, what I could do is I could put actually 2.5, right? I could put this as 2.5 standard deviations and go from there. And now I have a level in between these. That's pretty far, right? You're talking about 140 something points. Even this is far. So then you could even, come up with something else, which is, 225, 2.25. And believe it or not, these levels will hit and they do play out. And as you see, the hundreds, the halves, the quarters, they will play out a major role in terms of figuring it out. And this penny stock of ours here since 2009 is up almost 1,000%. Just think about it. If you're a long-term investor, is this something that you want to buy? Me personally, not really. I don't want to buy too many stocks that are all-time highs. And if you guys look at, Amazon is up there. I think Nvidia is at all-time highs. Yep. Not sure where Google is. I mean, it's up there close. What else? Goods at all-time highs. Oh my God. Wow. Do you guys remember when this came up on our scan at the bottom? Like $8-9 on the monthlies, I believe it was there. Along with, what was the other one? Piton. Piton was there. Yeah. Some of these stocks that come up, what was it? SoFi was there. So a lot of these stocks. Did you guys check like Snow lately at all? Snow exploded. If you guys remember, this was our level where we were loading up. It's on its way right now to about 240. I did initiate a long position today on Adobe, so we'll see how that plays out. And you guys can see something here, right? Pay attention to this candle here and the volume there. So it seems like there's some stopping volume, and there's another setup that was very similar here, like this candle here. Does anyone know what this is? What's the setup on this candle here? Does anyone know? I won.
At the dark cloud.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's actually not a bad setup for long. That's pretty good. Then you had a bearish candle here, so we know we can anticipate some sellers coming up in this area right here. 655. If you're to get 655, Shorty would be out of this. So that would be another 55% on this, which would be pretty nice, right? So I'd keep an eye on this. It's not a bullish Harami, just because bullish Haramis will have an indecision candle and they will not have a body inside. And bullish Haramis would look more like not when you need one. Yeah, well, maybe I don't see it on higher time frames. Typically they occur on the bottom somewhere. So imagine if this candle was up here somewhere in the middle, that would be a bullish Harami candle. Is anyone in KHC?
I am.
Yeah. Okay.
You got in Friday.
Yeah, very nice. I think it has a decent potential because this is called spring in terms of Wyckoff. So now we're gonna see what they do here. This is their chance to really fly here. Had a similar setup. If you guys remember pizza setup? Yeah, so it
Yeah, I
had very,
remember that.
very similar setup here where it cracked, and then of course it just ran, and pizza's actually ready for our next leg up. I think we're targeting 77ish to 80, if I remember, 77, 80. So we'll keep an eye on this guy, see how we do.
Is it trying to pull back a little bit, or
No, not this one. I think this one pulled back already. This one pulled back now, it just needs to crack this 51.45 and we're ready to go. Probably going to proceed here because this is the value area low now, this major zone, and it's below the POC. It's going to use this as a spring. So I wouldn't be surprised if we, somewhere around here would be the next level. The value area high of this, whatever this is, like 10 years. Reminds me also, if you guys think about T, when we had that guy somewhere around here. I'm so glad I got out of this.
Well, I sold all mine at that time too.
Yeah, I'm just glad that actually I might have caught, maybe missed a few dollars on it, but man, it's been trading like shit.
what are you guys worried about the Verizon?
Who's worried?
What did you guys get out?
I think I got somewhere around here. Don't quote me. I will have to check my. I think it was like 44.
Yeah, it was around like 45.
Yeah, somewhere
Yeah,
around here.
You guys think that it's gonna pull back a lot or down? Because I'm
Well,
still in. I'm debating to get out.
I mean, I like the dividends on it, but not at these prices. I mean, it's still doing okay. As long as you're above that 40, maybe 40 to 41, you're okay. If it loses that, I would trim it. I would close it completely. They're not able to find any buyers here on the upside for now.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you see today, I wouldn't be shocked if they make a run to here, 49, but you're talking about, what is that, like 6%, 12%, 13? That's not bad. I mean, I had a really good entry on Verizon, like a super nice entry on Verizon. So I was pretty happy with that one.
They pay very good dividends too.
Oh, I love the dividends. Yeah, Pfizer just paid really good dividends. I don't know who's in Pfizer, but they just sent the dividends out, and I usually get excited when I get the dividends check from Pfizer. There's another one that I'm watching, this McKesson, but this one is just not giving any breaks, guys. This is yearly profiles on McKesson. Man, look at this. I mean, literally no slowdown at all. This one's struggling as well. I really want MU back at our level here. Took everything off. I don't have anything, but this would be ideal if they can come back somewhere. Even 78 would be decent now if they do that. And they're actually, this is very interesting. Let me see the daily candles. Yeah, this is gonna come back to 115. This actually might be a buy 115 for a run towards 189. 115. I think the next level would be 189-ish if I remember my fibs. Yeah, 184 would be the next level here. So 200. I think this can definitely do it. TSM is too far gone. You don't want to touch this right now.
When would you buy
Right
UPS?
UPS is at a great opportunity right now. So UPS, if you take a look, UPS is at like 16-year POC right now. So I think, and they have I think almost 7% yield. So you can collect some shares here. And in terms of volume, there's a little bit of uptick in volume, but I'm not seeing much from FedEx either. So it's not like they're rotating from FedEx, from UPS into FedEx here. I don't see much. It actually look worse here on FedEx than UPS. UPS looks pretty good. But UPS, if you're going to be an investor in it, you're going to buy and just sit on it for a while. And I mean, you will collect 7% dividends on it.
Do you invest in waste management also, Shorty?
Yeah, that one's good. Yeah, WMT. No, not what was it?
WMI.
WM. Yeah, this one, but not here. I mean, you not want to buy here.
I was long gone.
Yeah, this one is. I mean, just this one reminds me of, if you guys remember McDonald's. The same chart. It's just the McDonald's is now, I treat it more like a right than a food chain. They own a lot more properties than any other one. And then another one that I would keep an eye on is Cat, but it's also long gone. We had Cat, I don't remember where. I think it was somewhere around here. I remember somewhere around here we had cat and we sold it almost for a double. But if this gives you an opportunity at some point to hold, I would definitely take a look at it. Today also, if you guys pay attention to the dollar really took a dump today. So keep an eye on it, and something's not adding up here. They're trying to, I think, kill the deficit, trade deficit. When they're able to do that, then they'll justify the rates cuts, and I think they're trying everything in their power to do that. So we'll find out shortly. Gold did not really flinch today. It is struggling a little bit here. All-time highs. They peaked above this value. They're not able to get even above the POC, so there's a chance we're going to see gold go 29.50, 29.60 here. Would probably be a decent level for a revisit, so keep an eye on that. Bitcoin is actually in trouble. A lot of people are bullish, but I'll be somewhat conservative on Bitcoin here. Any concerns, anyone? You see anything here?
Volume's decreasing.
Yeah, really low volume.
Yeah, so some spikes of volume here. They bought it back up from this level, which was basically, the prior all-time high. They came back, and you see, they tried to absorb it, but all that buying, yet they're still in the range, right? So right now you want to keep an eye on this and see how they behave. To me, I think it's ready for a little pullback right now, but let's see. I can't believe it's at 110 grand, to be honest.
Can you take a look into Joby?
What is it?
Joby.
This one?
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned this to me. I don't know who.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's Toyota invested a lot. Today they delivered their first VTOL taxi to UAE. So that's why it went to all-time high.
So I had a pretty good candle. No, it's okay. Something's wrong here. And there's something wrong here. Highest volume, no body. Yeah, somebody's absorbing and selling it. Yeah, that was a sweep. Yeah, I wouldn't buy it here. Something's off. Look for 7.99 when it comes back. Should come back there. All right, well, I think either Saturday or Sunday, probably Saturday, we can definitely do a class on our stock scan. And then we can do a session on market profile to bring you guys up to speed, especially the new folks. And make sure you guys are at least picking something up over the weekend and studying, right? So do that. And then just FYI, I'm keeping my eye on PEP. As I mentioned a few times, there are certain levels I'm watching on it. And one of the levels I'm really interested would be right around here on PEP, right? So about 116, I think it goes down to like 108, 109. So that's the level we're kind of watching on it. A lot of people are bullish and buying it here. Sure, you guys can go buy it here, but it's not going to play out. Did anyone buy NEM when we had it on a watch list? When we talked about it, monthly bottom was at 30. This one's popping pretty fast. Which one? Oh, NBIS was great. NBIS did fantastic there. I think we had it here. 24ish. This is going to all-time highs. Yeah, don't sell. Very smart. Yeah, it's a good way to play it. Typically, that's how I do it as well. So, wow, what is this GameStop? Oh, I thought it was recent. I was like, man, what in the world? So it had a gap. I just don't invest a lot in stuff like this. I definitely would not buy here. You know, can they fill this gap and run 4 points? Sure, yeah, but I don't even know what their business model is to like actually understand the future of it on investment. You could speculate on it, right? That it might do something, but I wouldn't touch it. So here's everybody's trading career start, and then here's everybody's account blown up. And now I was like, oh man, look, AMC's at the point where I became rich. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Hopefully, you guys had a good session. We'll check in tomorrow and see if we can trade live, because today was pretty brutal. Price open the whole day. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.